Minnie Maude answered. "I've got an Aunt Bertha, but she says as Charlie don't matter. Donkeys is donkeys." "Well, if your uncle got killed, maybe she don't care that much about donkeys right now." Gracie tried to sound reasonable. "What's going to happen to her with him gone? You got to think as she might be scared and all." Minnie Maude blinked. "Uncle Alf didn't matter to her like that," she explained. "He were me pa's brother." She sniffed harder. "Uncle Alf told good stories. He'd been to places, and he saw things better than most folk. Saw them for real, what they meant inside, not just what's plain. He used to make me laugh." Gracie felt a sudden, sharp sense of the girl's loss. Maybe it was Uncle Alf she was really looking for, and Charlie was just an excuse, a kind of sideways way of seeing it, until she could bear to look at it straight. There was something very special about people who made you laugh. "I'm sorry," she said gently. It had been a little while before she had really said to herself that her mother wasn't ever coming back. "He were killed," Minnie Maude repeated. "Yesterday." "Then you'd best go home," Gracie pointed out. "Your aunt'll be wondering what happened to you. Maybe Charlie's already got home himself." Minnie Maude looked miserable and defiant, shivering in the wind and almost at the end of her strength. "No, he won't. If he knew how to come home, he'd have been there last night. He's cold and scared and all by himself. And no one but him and me knows as Uncle Alf were done in. Aunt Bertha says as he fell off and hit his head, broke his neck most like, and Stan says it don't matter anyway, 'cause dead is dead just the same, and we got to bury him decent and get on with things. Ain't no time to sit around. Stan drives an hansom. He goes all over the place, but he don't know as much as Uncle Alf did. He could fall over something without seeing it proper. He sees what it is, like Uncle Alf said, but he don't never see what it could be. He didn't see as donkeys can be as good as a proper horse." Not for a hansom cab, Gracie thought. Whoever saw a hansom with a donkey in the shafts? But she didn't say so. "And Aunt Bertha didn't hold with animals," Minnie Maude finished, "'cepting cats, 'cause they get the mice." She gulped and wiped her nose on her sleeve again. "So will you help me look for Charlie, please?" Gracie felt useless. Why couldn't she have come a little earlier, when her gran had first told her to? Then she wouldn't even have been here for this child to ask her for something completely impossible. She felt sad and guilty, but there was no possible way she could go off around the wet winter streets in the dark, looking for donkeys. She had to get home with the potatoes, so her gran could make supper for them and the 2 hungry little boys Gran's son had left when he died. They were nearly old enough to get out and earn their own way, but right now there was still a considerable responsibility, especially with Gracie's gran earning only what she could, doing laundry every hour she was awake, and a few when she hardly was. Gracie helped with errands. She always seemed to be running around fetching or carrying something, cleaning, sweeping, scrubbing. But very soon she would have to go to the factory like other girls, as soon as Spike and Finn didn't need watching. "I can't," she said quietly. "I got to go home with the taters, or them kids will start eating the chairs. Then I got to help me gran." She wanted to apologise, but what was the point? The answer was still no. Minnie Maude nodded, her mouth tightening a little. She breathed in and out deeply, steadying herself. "It's all right. I'll look for Charlie myself." She sniffed and turned away to walk home. The sky was darkening, and the first spots of rain were heavy in the wind, hard and cold. When Gracie pushed the back door open to their lodgings in Heneage Street, her grandmother was standing with a basin of water ready to wash and peel the potatoes. She looked worn out from spending all day up to her elbows in hot water, caustic and lye, heaving other people's wet linen from one sink to another, shoulders aching, back so sore she could hardly touch it. Then she would have to lift